years gone by, oh, how they fly. Can't you see the tears in my eyes? Hidden by smiles, but they're all lies. Can't you hear all these cries? It's American suicide.
All right, y'all. We have Joshua Martin in the studio with us today. We haven't seen this cat for quite a while. Have we seen you this year yet?
Not sure. I've been hiding.
Yeah, we've seen you.
I don't think you have.
You've been up to big things, though. That's what happens when you stay busy. That's what happens when you stay busy. That song, American Suicide, y'all, near and dear to my heart. This world is a messed up place. It's up to us to get it back to its roots. I know some of you out there might have a little memory or two of how it used to be when we were growing up. We need to figure out how to get that back, and we have to work together to do it. And that's the trick. That is the trick.
Well, if you listen to the words carefully, I wrote this song building up to the election, and I'm an independent. I don't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. I've served with everybody, 23 years in the military. My mom was a Democrat. My dad was Republican. Families all over the road. But, the division was upsetting me where music brings us together, and everybody's trying to collect their gold. But, that's, at the end of the day, it's all going to go to rust and dust. And the lyrics are in there, like, the world's gone mad, but don't throw any stones, meaning don't be part of the problem. Guitar-wise, that's one of my favorite intros I've written. It has a... kind of finger picking into it, and then it's got that. And then I've got a Stratocaster I'm playing on the studio version where it really kicks in. It's got that. And so, Cynthia, you know me, that not only do I write my own songs and rhythm and vocals and the lyrics, but I also do all my own lead work, and I'm a lead guitar player by trade. But the song, again, has that eerie starting, and as much as I love country music and Southern rock and Texas blues, I also like the alternative stuff. And the intro, it's got that really kind of eerie. So it's probably, even though I knew it wasn't going to be a major commercial success, and I had people telling me, oh, change the name, you can't use an American Suicide, the word suicide is going to be taboo. I'm like, no, that's the song I wrote, and that's the way it is, and it's not about getting famous or making a bunch of money, it's a message. And the people like you that have heard it loud and clear, I appreciate it because you understand it, and that's more important to me than being famous or making a bunch of money or having a billion Spotify spends on it, because I knew that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, people who have been through and survived things that, they're definitely going to understand. I'm not even going to go there. North Texas Warrior Golf Association, I will go there. In a positive way, I will go there. The North Texas Warrior Golf Association was actually just recognized by the state of Texas. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah, that's great. And I served in Iraq in 2005 and 06. It's really hard to believe for me that it's been 20 years since I started my deployment. And I did 23 years total. And with the Coast Guard, that was unusual as well to be sent out. And I volunteered. We had lost a friend over there and a shipmate, and had a lot of people serving. And I was upset about 9/11 and wanted to do my part. But I don't know that we were exactly winning hearts and minds. It's the best quote I ever heard is, young men and women go to war and old rich ones send them there. Follow the dollar. And that's never been so true with any of those. Cheers to all you veterans out there. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm an adult, and yes, I'm having a cold beer. America.
Yes. He has earned that right. Absolutely. And so the story behind American suicide, obviously, our country has gone to shit and you're a veteran. You should know, like, that's kind of the story behind that. Do you have anything to add to it?
Well, I mean, and again, the line, you know, those that struggle, you're not alone. In a world gone mad, but don't throw any stones. You know, being like, we can all recognize that there's a lot of issues, but don't be part of the problem. Don't throw stones at people. Let people be them, be themselves, be where they're at. You know, people make their own beds. It's kind of like there are some people that I will stop and absolutely help, and there are people that I will drive past. And it's usually the stone throwers that, you know, if you've been throwing stones and you're one of those people, I will pass you by.
Right. Well, I mean, and you gotta watch what you say when you talk about certain things like that.
Right.
So,
well, and we're not talking in code. I mean, this song is a message, and it's, you know, it's again the second part for those who struggle. You're not alone, and that could be first responders, military, domestic situations, wives, kids, loss of a loved one, tragedies. Really anybody struggling, people that are financially, that were used to success and money, all of a sudden don't have it. You know, and that's something where I feel like I was blessed to grow up dirt poor on a farm and have to earn everything I have, because I know what it's like to be poor and to struggle in a subsistence life, and that those pets weren't pets, they were food. And it was kind of a tough pill to swallow at times growing up, you know, especially
it's life.
I wasn't supposed to be an only child. I'm pretty sure my parents planned on having a lot more children, but unfortunately I was it. And on a farm, you're doing all the chores, all the duties, and all the deeds. And I just like to remind people, you know, it wasn't that long ago when people like me, when mom said to go fetch a chicken, that had a whole lot more meaning than most people will ever understand. You know,
literally, there's more value in hard work than like literally.
well, and the beauty of not having electricity for the first few years of my life, and having kerosene lanterns and a well, and literally drinking out of a hose from a well unfiltered, you know, watching my dad and his friends get together and play banjo and fiddle and mandolin, sit around a campfire, you know, and me strumming one on his lap when I'm probably 15 months old. And then at the age of 9, he gave me my own guitar, and I still can't read music. I'm completely self-taught. So, you know, whether it's a Johnny Cash lick, well, the Tennessee Two, rather, his guitar player, you know, I learned those from listening to the record over and over and over again. There was no one there teaching me. There was no music books. There was no videos. Hell, we had a black and white TV. You know, I often get asked, because I retired from the military and I invested in real estate and guitars and other fine things in life. And people will ask me if I had an inheritance or was a, you know, a trust fund child. I always kind of chuckle. Like, they sent me some eggs and out the door with an old Chevy truck and some toolbox and fishing pole and 22 rifle. That was my trust fund.
My oldest didn't eat store-bought meat until she was graduated from high school, for the most part. That whole system of living off of the earth teaches you the circle of life. It teaches you love and loss. It also teaches you respect.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like I said, the value of hard work, because you get to see the fruit of your labor when you work the land.
And while I'm a Texas resident now, and my whole family's transplanted here over the years, and all of my grandchildren have been born here, and everybody's pretty much either working here or retired here. And And I love Texas, but I was born in southern Indiana. And those are the foothills just over the Kentucky line. And we had 4 seasons, so winters could be rough. Like my cousin just went through one heck of a winter up there. And I'm like, no thanks. My favorite Texas thing, I'd rather beat off a water moccasin with my flip-flop while being sunburnt and eaten by mosquitoes and shovel snow. And that's kind of where I'm still at. I'll teach you Texas heat. Although you guys got pretty cold up there up north.
Well, oh my goodness. In the winter of 2019, it got to negative 30 degrees, like negative 30 degrees. Yes, Cynthia, that would be 30 degrees below. Like, well, it was insane. Like, we had Illinois came out with virtual learning right before. I mean, that was what, 3 months before the rest of the world did because of COVID. Like,
right.
Because our tires were frozen to our ground. Like, even Walmart wasn't open. If you needed something, you better need it inside of your house because there was nothing out there. Like,
well, and Texans and Southerners aren't used to that kind of weather. And, whether I did grow up, driving in it and whatnot, but I still don't like it. But it made for some interesting times here in Texas and neighboring states for sure this last year with the blizzard of
2021. I was down where you're at now during that, and that was absolute insanity because, like, I'm like an hour and a half away from Mexico and there's no water because everything was frozen. Going back to my hotel, at first I was like, crap, how am I even going to get my stuff? Like, how am I going to get in the door? Like, but thankfully those are all battery operated. But I felt like I was going into some Nightmare on Elm Street haunted hotel to go get my shampoo. Like, it was weird. It was
well, especially with COVID when everything was shut down, which was all craziness. And and again, I was still active duty. I didn't retire until May of 2022, so I still had to work every day. I was considered essential, and then some. Actually, we got tasked with a lot of extra work. Yeah, that was crazy times. I'm glad it's over with, and I'm glad I'm retired and just playing music now. And as you noted, I'm staying very busy, but I'm also really the blessing of being a retired disabled vet, and and raising my kids and making some financial decisions over these years is that I can kind of play when I want to and how I want to, and I'm not signed with anybody. My first record's independent, my label, my songs, my production and everything, and the same with the second one. And so lately I've been really looking at shows that have a listening audience, a nice stage, and where people are coming to see original music and live good music. And then I've been backing up some other artists. I'm excited to play with Cameron Wrinkle this Saturday, opening for Aaron Watson at Lime Rock Amphitheater up in Abilene. And I'll be going on the road and doing some shows with CW from 20 Hands High. We're going to be in El Paso, and I believe we're going to be up in Burleson on the 17th as well. So the 14th in El Paso, 17th in Burleson. And that's kind of fun for me. And again, I was built for this in the military deployment. So getting on a tour bus and doing a few shows on a run is what it's all about. And I'm a lead guitar player by trade. So it's kind of fun to maybe do a few songs to open the show acoustically that I've written and then jump into the lead guitar role. And I've backed up some other artists here recently. My friend Jason Breedlove, that's a Texas artist that I served with in the Coast Guard. He had me play lead with him a couple months ago. And played with Genevieve at the Houston Rodeo and the Houston World Barbecue Cookout. We did like four band shows and like 1 or 2 acoustic sets. So it was a lot of fun. And then again, I love mixing it up, having a female singer be the front and the lead, and then doing some harmonies and playing the lead. It's just nice to, I call the TNIC, totally not in charge. And it's just a good place to be for me sometimes. And then you know me well enough to know that I've never smoked in my life, really, never messed with cigarettes or tobacco. And I have allergies, COPD, and asthma, which are probably war-related, and it's with the VA, related to burn pits, and they call it Gulf War syndrome. So I have a lot of times where I struggle with, I don't like to do a whole lot of shows because my voice can get lost easily, or I can get thrush or sore throats. And I'm always hoarse. And the people like my raspy voice, which is cool, but it really wasn't like this a few years ago. So the sound that people know me by now is not how I used to sound. And so when I'm playing that
Right.
slower,
Aid kind of does that to us too.
Well, and one beautiful thing lately about playing some acoustic shows locally is when you write your own song, you can change it. And so on the first record, which I want to re-record several of those songs and add like fiddle, pedal steel, but Lonesome on the Highway or Lonesome Highway, it's a fast kind of two-step song. On the record, it's kind of like it's got that Lonesome on the Highway, rolling down the road. On acoustic lately, I've been doing a real slow version. Kind of slowing it down, and maybe we can get that in the show at some point whenever you're ready to. But I just like to take those songs here lately and like, lonesome on this highway, rolling down this road, night after night, I still feel the hurt. Just a whole different feel to the song, and that's the beauty I've learned lately about, I was looking at, even watching some of these behind the scenes of guys that were going back and rebranding and re-recording their songs. Like if you watch, and I watched some random stuff, don't judge, but I was watching the whole Whitesnake behind the scenes and like Mr. Coverdale and how they went back, the songs that were doing okay in England 10 years prior, they re-released them in America and re-recorded them and changed some things. And all of a sudden they're #1 hits and MTV's going crazy.
I wasn't judging you. I was laughing that I was actually old enough to know what the heck you were talking about.
That guy survived a lot. And what's even more interesting, and we're getting off, off the subject, but it has to do with music, so it counts. But he went through the whole heavy metal, through the disco, into the grunge scene, back into kind of the pop rock. And he made it through all of them. It's actually, if you look at his catalog and what he went through in the band members in England, America, it's kind of impressive. And, he reinvented himself over and over and over again. I mean, one thing I could say about the dude from Whitesnake, he was no quitter. I mean, he just 40 years. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Right. Well, when you got it in you, you can't deny yourself of it. Like, the heck with everybody else. Like,
but I mean, but the one thing that I really took from that, though, from watching, I don't know if it was VH1 behind the scenes or behind the music or whatever show was on, whatever the streaming stuff is, but is, it made me look at a bunch of my other songs and change them, like Lone Star Lover is another one where I want to re-record it with a fiddle and a pedal steel because I recorded it as a 3-piece. And I'm playing lead and picking, and we just have bass and drums. And while I love that song and the meaning behind it, there's still gentlemen in this world, and about me helping somebody out one night that was basically in distress, and I was raised like, "Are you okay? You need help, or what's going on?" And that song has an interesting feel in the first record. I mean, I like it; it's not bad, but I think just getting that whole back to acoustic and a nice, sweet fiddle sound will make the deal. So I kind of want to re-record that one. Just that whole. And I just, it'll change the whole thing because it's electric right now, and it has more of a otherworldly guitar solo on it, where it's a Texas country song, kind of a waltz, but then it has like alt country guitar work on it. So I don't know, and just one of those songs where I feel like down the road we can re-record backing female vocals, fiddle, pedal steel, sweeten it up, it'll be a whole different song.
So I was laughing earlier when you played Lonesome on this highway, or Lonesome Highway. So that was one of the songs that they said wasn't country. I feel like with it slowed down, it might pass.
Well, but even on the record, though, it's a 2-step song. And every time I played it at a club, we were at Rowdy Buck's last Saturday or Friday night in Houston, or outside of Houston and Crosby. And when I kicked off that song, one of the greatest compliments when you write a song and people come out and dance to it, it always makes me happy because a lot of my songs I feel like aren't danceable, and they're deep songs, and they're great for a listening room. And so I really have been changing which songs I put on the set list, because I was doing a 50-50 set list. Original, cover, and trying to do like a 3-hour show. And obviously I have 20 songs recorded with 2 full albums, and then I've written another 50 some, and I regularly do about 30 of those songs. And so it's nothing if I want to put 20 originals on a set list and 20 covers. And I've also been really, changing just some of my songs that I really, really like. Like I'm doing a Ray Wiley Hubbard song, a Blackberry Smoke song, a Steelwood song, a Whiskey Myers song, Waylon, Willie, Merle, Johnny Cash, David Allan Coe, a lot of the people that I really respect, Sturgill Simpson, Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner. Occasionally I'll throw on Hendrix, occasionally I'll do Prince. If it's somebody I like, then I'll throw it in there. But my set list has really changed to songs that are either upbeat, can dance to, and even like so one of the new songs, well, Find My Way, that's the song that's getting a lot of traction. That's going to be released on CD Tex this coming Friday. And it's on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. It's been added to the TCMA compilation Volume 7. And I know that folks in the CMA have seen me play it live and liked it, and had a lot of compliments, which I appreciate. But it has that bump, 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 that bass drum kicking. The fiddle comes in. It just gets people going. I got that.
Is that about Find My Way?
Yeah.
Let's talk about We're Never the Same.
Oh, We're Never the Same. So somebody had told me I needed to do some slower stuff and slow it down. And so I was writing about where I took a 60-day break from alcohol with a good friend of mine, a Navy veteran, who's also disabled, has been sober for like over 20 years. And I just, I'm kind of dealing with things in life and breakups. And so that people are like, you need to do a slower song. So I came up with this little riff. Watch you walk away, it's all never the same. It's hard to shake this pain. It's another sad song we all sing. It's now 2:45. I can't seem to think. Too early to have a drink. What I wouldn't do to change this scene. Can you hear me now? I'm crying out loud. Can you hear me now? I'm crying out loud. We're never the same. We're never the same. Coffee and iced tea keep me out of the bar scene. I wish you could see me now, even through these ups and downs. Love is a powerful thing, worth more than any damn diamond ring. I want you to walk away, just another sad song we all sing. Can you hear me now? I'm crying out loud. Can you hear me now? I'm crying out loud. We're never the same. We're never the same. favorite line is coffee and iced tea kept me out of the bar scene, which is totally true. For 60 days, I made sun tea and coffee every morning, and I'd have chats with my neighbor, and we'd cook, and I'd play guitar, and it just kind of hit me. And I wrote this song, I think either Christmas Day or New Year's Day. I can't remember. I have to look at my log and my BMI stuff. But that song really came alive on the new record with a female backing vocals and Sarah Menifee from King Bean and Stingers. The band, Jeff Shue on bass. These are all out of Southern Indiana. Peter Doyle on pedal steel. He's a monster steel player. Kent Todd on fiddle, an incredible player. Jesse Beals on mandolin and banjo, and Nico Albanese on drums, and Wes Grimshaw on B3 and keys. I can't believe how well a few of these songs came together. So Find My Way, We're Never the Same, There's No Words, and American Suicide are all off the new record, Second Chances, that we haven't released yet. We've only released a few of the singles, which you have. And I want to thank you, too, for all the promotion you've done for me. And people that don't know, Cynthia at Texas Brew Radio built my website and my EPK and has helped promote me. And we've got to know each other, and she even did some photo shoots for me. And some of the picture on my second album, she took. So there you go.
Yeah, we have to start using the word support. Cynthia helps support my music and get it out there because
you got it. I can do that.
I'm a
Cynthia from Texas Brew Radio definitely has supported me, and I appreciate you.
Yes,
I've been
I do whatever my artists need, and there's a lot of stuff that they need. So most of our database is not radio, actually. So
well, as we both know, that's a tough cookie to crack, and again, I mean, it's a process, and there's young artists like my friend Charlie Alstrom. I'm explaining to him, besides writing the song, going to the studio, doing a rough, getting it mixed down, adding utility instruments, getting it mastered, approving the master, then getting it to the CD or LP maker, out to Spotify, iTunes, whether you use DistroKid, CD, whatever. And then when you want to go to CD Text or CD Next or whatever you're going to put it out there to, you have to do a lot of paperwork, and you have to know what the URL are for all of your sites. You have to know the code for your song, which is escaping right now, ISIC code.
IRSC or
yes.
I'm dyslexic, so good luck with that. It was
I have to look at it
in some sort of.
I have to look at it on my actual song release and go, oh yeah, that's what it's called. But
I think it might be IRSC.
Yeah, it's but there's a lot to it. I mean, and that's just to get started, and you have a UPC code for the song, then you have your ISRC and
ISRC, yeah. See,
ISRC.
I'm backwards.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Always.
But there's so much that goes into it, and if you're an independent artist like myself, it's a lot. I mean, I'm emailing the venues, I'm calling them, I'm making my business cards, making drops. I'm going on the road with other artists. And, and again, I can't thank Cameron Wrinkle enough for inviting me to play with him, opening up for Aaron Watson and Abilene this weekend. And CW from 20 Hands High, I think he was nominated for Artist of the Year last year and won the Josie Award. Going on the road and playing lead for him and being a special guest and playing some of my songs is super cool. I mean, that's really what it's about for me, because I don't really care about the fame or the money. I'm okay. I'm fed and have a roof over my head and a vehicle running currently after replacing an engine, turbos, and AC and tires. No big deal, but it's cheaper than buying a new one.
Right.
I'm blessed. I will say that. I feel like there's a lot of artists out there that, again, they may start young and have their whole lives ahead of them, but at least I had a career and I made investments and raised my kids. Like, I officially have no dog, no cat. Kids are raised, and really, dead. I can go on the road and do whatever I want, and that's a great place to be. And I was built for it. The big question for myself is really where I want to go from here. Do I want to write for the people? Do I want to play lead? Do I want to keep writing, putting out songs? Because I will say that the first record was incredibly expensive out of my own dime. The second one to make wasn't cheap, and we haven't even printed vinyls or CDs yet. And then to the aspiring artists out there, like, guess what? If you want a plastic case, it's more. If you want lyrics included, it's more. If you want a spine in the album that has your name on the back versus just a fold, it's more. If you want heavy vinyl versus flimsy vinyl, it's more. If you want the prettiest splattered marble or whatever hippie trippy stuff, which I think is super cool, it's more. I mean, before you know it, if you're selling your record for $50 at a show, it might have cost you 40 or 45 a piece if you're only making 500 of them. And I will say one note on that. I'm down to a handful of my first run CDs and LPs on my first record where I did 500 a piece. And there's something nostalgic and magical about selling them at shows, out of my truck, out of my guitar case, out of my flight cases and rigs that, and thanks to the website you built for me. I mean, the first day we released my debut album, I had like $300 or $400 in sales. And that was a great thing to wake up to. Like, it was magic. Like, oh, wow, people are sending me money for my record. And they want to hear my music. And little by little, that record was released September 6th of last year. And while it's not a huge feat, I'm not viral, but selling almost 500 albums and CDs and Spotify songs and downloads is pretty cool in my book, And then if I ever did get to the mainstream or get big, guess what? People that bought that first record that got signed posters or one of 100, the first ones I signed and numbered the first 100 of each, it could be something special. I look back on one of my friend's garage bands in the 80s, and that I used to go play in similar places around and street dances and whatnot. Their LPs they put out in the 80s are now worth a fortune because there was such a small pressing of them, and they're like an underground band, and now it's a major sought after like underground record. It's just kind of wild how things can turn. Like those, some of them are going for stupid money. I mean, thousands of dollars. Like I saw it online on Facebook. Somebody had one. I'm like, wow, interesting stuff. You just never know where it's going to go.
Yeah, I saw a Cheeto for like $1 million on the internet that was like 250 or something. I cannot be surprised by anything anymore at this point. I don't think like,
wow.
Like the minimal shock factor now. I'm just like, oh, cute. Usually, you know what I mean? Like it's minimized. After you've heard it so many times, you're just like, yeah, I can't be surprised. I mean,
life, yes, will surprise you at every turn. Just when you think you figured out something, you're wrong. But I mean, I feel blessed to do what we're doing. And I've been trying to help other artists, like my friend Charlie Ahlstrom. He's 19. He's got the whole world ahead of him, and he's a great singer. And I've been trying to push him in the right directions and teach him things that I learned from my mistakes or not knowing any better or whatnot. And just prepare. While there's good people out there that truly want to help you in music, there are a lot more snakes and takers. And shame on them. And they'll all be judged someday. But, in all my years of playing music, I think the worst burn I've had so far was someone, took me for $500 for music production promotion, which, if they would have played their cards right, they probably could have got more out of me. But they were, they took the money and run, so to speak, and then tried to disappear, which I found them. And be careful who you mess with. I mean, I've prior law enforcement and military, and know a lot of people in the laws. And then, believe it or not, in Texas, $500 theft of services is a misdemeanor up to 180 days in jail. And, honest to God, if I need the money that bad, I'd almost give it to them. But it's just shameful that people can't even do their job for, they wouldn't know if I was washing dishes or working.
Well, and that particular incident was set up knowing that they couldn't.
But end of the day, the person's a crook, and they're not even worth mentioning their names. And I know people are burned for a lot more. There's a lot of people that are always wanting money in the music business, or making promises. And and even
there's tons. I mean, I have artists who paid $2,500 for a website, and the person never built it. And then I'm like, give me $500, like, let me
right, and that's a deal.
Yeah,
and I won't talk about our business arrangements where I've paid you to build my website and do my APK and update it, but I mean, it was a good deal, and these days, if you can get one built for that kind of money and up and running, it makes a difference. Records I sold on there, I couldn't have sold as easily without having it, or T-shirts, or koozies, or hats, or following music. And it's a lot to keep up with. Like, I mean, I've got Facebook fan page, Facebook music page, my personal page, which has become the biggest one followed, Instagram and TikTok and, Snapchat and YouTube Music, Amazon, Spotify artists, and I was joking with you earlier before we went live that, my royalties this month from Spotify, I think were $18.55. While I appreciate that I'm actually getting paid, my monthly artist membership is $19.95 a month. So I'm still not even breaking even on Spotify. But it's a necessary evil to get your music out and be seen, because most people use Spotify. Most clubs look at Spotify, and if you're going to do it, you got to be on it, just like iTunes, Amazon. But if you go to my webpage, joshuamartinofficial.com, you can actually download the songs or album, and it actually goes to me. Like, if you spend $1.25 on my website, I actually get $1. If you spend a spin on Spotify, you get like 0.00007 of a cent, and it's just the way it is.
So how messed up is it that you're getting paid more on Facebook to tell people to go to Spotify and look at your music?
I don't want to give out my secrets, but some of my songs and some of my video clips and just my daily shenanigans. I love to cook. I love to play with my dog, and it's not really my dog, but he claims me.
I've been telling the artists they need to get personal. People want real. They want raw.
Right,
they don't just want the poster and the song. They want you.
I love to cook, and I love to cook for friends and family, and so I often will post, and I cook an antique cast iron. Like when I was playing the Antique Week in Round Top in Warrington in Texas, I bought a really old Griswold cast iron skillet and a jokingly what I called a saucepan, a Wagner, which is really a cast iron ashtray. It's a perfect little saucepan. But that video where I'm sitting in an egg chair before my show talking about this cast iron I bought and what I'm going to cook in it and what not cooking it, it had almost 50,000 views. And, I've had songs like There's No Words hit like 12,000 views the first couple hours. Just that little riff that. I kick into that. I made some heartbreaks. I felt this little shame. I made the major mistakes in this life. Just that opening riff. I mean, I was kind of blown away that my following is almost 6,000 on Facebook, which is really nothing, but I'm over 5,000 check mark. But that video got like 12,000 views in 2 hours. And so, it went beyond my following. And then I think the fan page is at like 3,000 on a group. And then I think the international music page is just Joshua Martin Music or Joshua Martin. It's a similar picture that you set up for me. That's at like 1,500. So it's all small potatoes, but it seems to make a difference. We just played We're Never the Same. And,
we have this one left. I want to play this one on the way out though, like as you're recording.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And I do that song for me again.
And these help y'all. These things, if you don't have a song bio, you need to get one and include this with your song, because this is eye-catching and helps sometimes.
On that song, the last line, it always messes me up to try to jump at like the second or third verse, but like the very last verse is, you better thank that sunset, and better yet, some good friends to help you through those dark nights. You better thank that sunrise that's shining in your eyes. It's a privilege that won't last forever. That's right, you better enjoy smell the roses and blow the dandelions away while you can. But that line, you better thank that sunset, which I do every day. better yet, some good friends that have helped me through a lot over the years. You know, or that sunrise that's shining in your eyes. It's a privilege that won't last forever. We're mortal people, and you got to appreciate that.
Your camera likes that chick too.
That's wild. So I don't even know what's going on with the laptop, but it seems to really like the painting behind me, which I do too. It's a beautiful painting. It's just something about that. We're going off kilter again, but she's blowing a dandelion in the wind, which is the simple things in life that can be the most peaceful. And I like playing guitar and for friends, and that seems to be, you know, one of my pieces is to really just share music with people, you know, and there'll be some people that judge you too. And it took me a while to not care if somebody liked my songs or not, you know, or my words or this and that, or that's not radio ready, or that's not country, or that's not that. You know, and again, I'm finally getting some radio play, not just in Texas, but other states around, and some far, actually. I mean, I've gotten play in California, New York, Indiana, Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, and North Dakota, I'm trying to think here, Oklahoma recently. But with the new song, Find My Way, going on the compilation for TCMA and CMA taking a look at it, and then going to CD Text, which is Texas, what'll go all the radios. The next step is to put it to CD Next, which is Nashville. And but it takes time and money. And I got to say that, you know, I've spent a lot of time filling out the forms, getting it all right, getting the wave link to them, not the MP3, because you have a wave. People don't understand. You can't just send an MP3 to something. Some folks on radio stations, they might want an MP3.
I think it's because the lighting has gotten different. Like the sun's gone down, so the light, it's picking up her face more now.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. That's okay too. We'll when the sun goes down. That is wild. Well, that's modern technology for you. It's keying in on her. Well, she's prettier than I am, so here I am. But you know, it's again, it takes so much to do what we do. Wow. You know what? Maybe she'll get better, you know, views than I will, but here we are.
I feel like my brain is going, whoa.
I'm too tan, apparently. But that, you know, the song again, you know, thanking sunsets, friends, and appreciating sunrise because it won't last forever. And that's what that song is really trying to capture, is that we're human, we're mortal, and you got to take the good. And again, it's more of an upbeat song. Again, a lot of people were like, your songs, some of them are really down. Like If I Fall was, you know, written when I came back from Iraq and kind of one of the worst places of my life. And marriage was a mess, and relationship, and trying to get back and get to know my kids. And my old Canada partner had passed away. I mean, I had a lot going on, but that song was, I think it's one of my favorite songs off the first record, but it's also kind of a downer. It's got that. You can't dance to it, and that's the problem. It's like that. If I fall back down again, don't you know I never will? You know, and it's that in the last line, it's raining down hard on me. I feel like I'm drowning, won't you rescue me? You know, so it's a powerful song, but it's also, again, it's not something somebody can dance to. They can't boot scoot. They can't two-step. They can't really slow dance to it. It's a listening song. You know, it's what I like to call a deep couch song, or in your car, you know, like where you can relate. Maybe you're a veteran. Maybe you had a breakup. Maybe you had an alcohol or drug addiction. You know, again, If I Fall, Don't Let Me Drown. That song is was me writing about me digging myself out of my own hole. And so that's
So Take it back a little bit. I want to know, like, so December 21st, you took home Most Impactful Songwriter of the Year. Tell us your journey after that. I know, like, 2 weeks later, you were showcased with the CMA of Texas. I think
Yeah, so
in rodeo, like.
And again, for that show, for the we had 2 songs, right?
We did.
I did "We're Never the Same," and I did "There's No Words." And so the CMA asked me to be on their showcase and be a member, which was cool. I got to meet Uncle Rhino in person and connect with him, and did some interviews with several other folks and radio in the industry and one of the people in the movie industry. And I appreciate being part of that, and meeting all of their artists, and being the most impactful singer-songwriter of the year is cool because, I do want my songs to impact and have a meaning and touch people. That's the whole point of it. And so that was a great event up there. We were at Matter and Pearls, right, in Fort Worth?
Yes.
I said that right. And they won, I think, an industry award this year at the TCMA.
They did. I don't know if it's with TCMA yet, but I do know that with Texas Regional Radio Report, they got #1.
Oh, that's right. The T3R, yeah, T-triple-R. And again, folks, I mean, there's so much going on in Texas. I mean, music-wise, industry-wise, there's so many associations, there's so many radio programs, internet promoters. I'm going to turn on this light here in a second, I think. So the sun is going down, and we're getting dark in here.
I know we're getting close to our time too. So I know you said that you're opening for Aaron Watson. Any other exciting things coming up?
Well, I'm with Cameron Wrinkle opening up for him, supporting him and playing lead at Abilene in the Lime Rock Amphitheater this Saturday. And again, I've got a lot of shows coming up for myself, but I'm also going on the road with CW from 20 Hands High as a special guest, and also playing lead guitar with his band. Kind of a trial and error. I mean, CW, he's a good hang. He's also a Navy Chief veteran. I'm a Senior Chief Coast Guard veteran. And we met at the T3R Awards, and I think, I'm not sure who was left, but at the end of the night, I ended up joining the band in the back after party and playing lead guitar at the end of the night. And, from there, I got asked, hey, you want to come on the road and do some shows with me? I'm like, sure, that's awesome. That's what it's about. And so that's kind of how that went down. Every time I go to one of these events, I meet people and network, and I'm more than happy to not be the front person or in the limelight, so to speak. I'm quite content with bending strings.
Yes. So are you up for hire for a lead guitarist? Is that what you're saying? Like, I know, and you sell guitars too, like you build guitars.
Well, I'm going to see how this record goes and singles go, but I've joined Genevieve at Houston Rodeo, and she's a really talented singer-songwriter for quite a few shows. And again, I'm joining CW and 20 Hands High and Cameron Wrinkle, but it's also just great experience and exposure. It's nice to be on a big stage. I'm still getting used to the inner monitors. I feel like I'm in a fishbowl. You really got to clean it up. I've been practicing my tail off and it's also forcing me to learn other people's songs, which I'm so comfortable with doing my songs, my covers. I've been playing for years. And so it's taken me out of my comfort zone. And because it's somebody else, I actually care.
Where you live.
I want to do my best. So I've been busting my butt.
Experience life.
And I've also been playing a lot more mandolin, lap steel, harmonica, and slide, because if I do decide to do some more utility work and lead and be an opener, and I'm totally cool. Like, I love just doing a few acoustic songs as an opener, like I did for Donnie Van Slee last year. He was on The Voice of Reba McEntire, did a Texas run. Ended up doing a mini tour with him. And it was fun to open the shows and do like 3 to 5 acoustic songs, thank the crowd, switch gears, grab my Telecaster, and go to work playing lead for his full set.
Right.
I'm going to turn on the light here. Bear with me 1 second. This is my little personal studio, and it's dark. Look at the lights.
Yeah, it got really dark.
There we go. Well, the sun was shining through my window when we started our interview, and now
the camera makes that picture look wild because that picture has no black on it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's all actually yellow where it's black at. That's so weird.
I don't know. Can't see the artist's name right now. It's John R. Lowry. And it's just a cool piece of art. I'm not sure where it came from exactly, but I don't know. I dig it. Whatever.
So you're in the Victoria, Texas area. I know you've been touring a lot out in California. Are you open for traveling wherever in the country as long as they just
yeah. I mean, I've done it before. When I was supposed to be in California in May, but I've got too much going on here in Texas right now, and a little bit in Louisiana and Indiana, and I may try to go out there in June and do some shows. I got to touch base with some folks, and it's really, again, it's an honor and humbling that people are asking me to come back out and play. I've got a great band I use out there that literally kind of set their schedules aside if I give them enough notice. Fantastic fiddle player, bass player, drummer, percussion, keyboard player. And that's the beauty, is that I'm able to fly out there with a guitar and on my back, literally in a backpack, and then we either lease out equipment or the clubs already have, PA and sound like that. But that's fun. Last year I did about a 5-week run in the fall and maybe a 3-week in the spring, I think. And Northern California, wine country, there's a lot of great people out there that love good country music and outlaw southern rock and blues, and it's just a different flavor I think I bring than they have out there normally. In Texas, I mean, again, I'm still not the average Texan, and I'm a transplant, and I grew up from Waylon to Jimi Hendrix to Led Zeppelin to Johnny Cash to the Beatles to everything, so I'm very well rounded. I don't fit the stereotypical Texas red dirt musician. But when it comes to like Waylon Jennings or Johnny Cash or Charlie Daniels, I grew up on all those songs.
Right. Well, JoshuaMartinOfficial.com if you want to grab music, merch, find out where he's at, find out more about his
We are officially down to less than 25 of the first debut CDs and roughly about that many LPs. And those are the first editions. So if you order them online or message me, I'll personalize them, sign them. There's some extra goodies I've been throwing in. And when they're gone, they're gone. This hat I'm wearing, my daughter designed it years ago, and it's the very last one that I've had. I've nursed it for the last few years, but it's kind of cool. And same thing with merch. We've changed merch. I love seeing people show up to shows with one of my older T-shirts, like Lone Star Lover, or one of the original logos. And now we have the one that was done by Texas Brew Radio, which we also have one that has both my logo on the front, my name with a cowboy hat, and kind of the white wings, similar to like a Waylon Jennings style logo. And then it has Texas Brew Radio on the back. So we've got different varieties. The new one pretty much just has the logo on the front, same with the ball cap, same with the koozie, same with stickers. And we wanted to go simple. I honestly didn't want my face in the shirt. It just seemed too egotistical to have my actual face in the shirt. I just wanted a logo and design, which, I think my screensaver here, if we can see it, there it is. That would be the main design these days. Because it's about the music. I'm not trying to win a popularity contest or a beauty contest. It's really about the music. And it does keep me going. So people that are buying T-shirts and hats and CDs and records, I appreciate it. And, it helps me be able to pay people like Cynthia to help with the EPK and the website, or buy CDs and albums or travel. It does make a difference. I mean, I am well off to do, so to speak, from being blessed to make it to retirement and the military, and I have that coming in a check of the month, but it does go fast. I'm not a billionaire, not even close. Not even close to a millionaire.
Book him. Tell your favorite radio station to play Joshua Martin. We are going to let y'all check this out as we head out of here. But I did want to say, support your local songwriters, save your drama for your mama, and don't be the reason someone quits doing what they love doing. We're all good people out here. Let's prove it. Thanks for coming on, Joshua.
Yeah, it's good talking to you. Thank you for doing the interview, and thanks for spinning my music and everything else you do for everybody.
Absolutely. We're going to play There's No Words.
I've made some heartbreaks. I felt this earth shake. I've made the major mistakes in this life. And when you're going down, there's no lifelines. You can't leave the past behind, 'cause it'll be right there. There's no words to express this hurt. Life can be unkind when you deserve more. The good one